Hi everyone! In today's DIY projects, we'll be crafting with Dollar Tree items. We'll be creating some beautiful home decor items on a budget that you could use to decorate your home. For your shopping convenience, I've attached all the items used in today's projects in the description box below, so do check them out and let's jump right into our first DIY project. For our first project, we'll be using 4 pizza pan from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be reusing this vase. I made it some time back. I'm just going to spray paint it white so you can see how it looks. Now I'm going to be adding one more row to that vase, and we're using the small wavy plates from the Dollar Tree. Just use your hot glue to line up the pieces. Make sure it's touching on the back, but in the front you should see that it's lined up properly. And we're going to be joining 8 of those. So 8 wavy plates make one circle. So I'm just going to be adding that row on top of this one that I have. And for this DIY project, I'm making an accent table. I'm just using these dowels, and this is how I made it in the first place. I used these dowels, the 12-pack dowels, and after making the row, then I attached my dowels with my hot glue. So now I'll just cut small pieces. One dowel, I'll cut it into 4. So I'm attaching this dowel to the previous one just to give it some height so I can add another row. You'll need 8 of those. Just attach each dowel to the inside on each joint. So we'll go all the way around with those, and then I'll just slide my mini wavy plates right over on top. Just make sure it's lining up with the previous ones, then add a generous amount of your hot glue. And you can also use a strong adhesive if you'd like. I have these wooden rounds from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using 2 of these, and this is what's going to help us to hold our table together. I'm painting on the outside with my small brush and some matte black paint, and I'm just painting the outer rim. You want to also paint on the edges under the base, just a small part, about 1/4 of an inch, because the base will be showing after you place it on top of your mirror. For my strong adhesive, I'm using Loctite Power Grab. And these wooden rounds fit nicely inside, so I'm just removing my label and then I'll apply my Power Grab. And you just want to use a small amount. I used way too much of it. And I'm just gonna place one in each end. And you want to wipe off any excess because it will be showing through the mirror. Now for my pizza pan, I'm going to be attaching 2 of them together. Before I do that, I'll be using my electric scissors to cut a piece of cardboard to put in my pizza pan. And I'm going to be making 2 sets of these, so I'm using up 4 pizza pan, 1 piece of cardboard for each set. And I'm just using my strong Aleene's mixed media adhesive and my hot glue to attach my cardboard inside of my pizza pan. And you'll need a 12-inch mirror for this. Now this is the other pizza pan, and I'm going to be cutting a 1/2 of an inch from my foam board, and then I'll attach the piece to my pizza pan on the base. And I'm cutting a 1/2 of an inch because I'll be using a trim which is 1/2 of an inch. And I'm just using my hand to make the foam board flexible so it can go all the way around my pizza pan. And this is on the base of the pizza pan. Just push it up right against that edge and try to avoid the glue from spilling on the edge. Now I'll use my utility knife to cut off the extra foam and just glue everything in place. Now I'll attach my two pizza pan, the one with the cardboard and the one with the foam. And I'm using my strong Aleene's mixed media adhesive along with my hot glue. Just put a generous amount of hot glue and then attach the two together. Place some weights on top of it until it's dry. And this is where you'll also attach your 12-inch mirror. So I added my 12-inch mirror and now I'm placing my pedestal on top of that mirror with my Loctite. For the next pizza pan, I'm applying my strip and this will be the top. I didn't show you the mirror that I placed in because I was waiting to show you this second one, but unfortunately I ordered the wrong size mirror, so I don't have a 12-inch mirror to use. I'm going to be using a 10-inch mirror and I'll just improvise with some vase fillers. So I'm gluing my trim going all the way around. And this is self-adhesive. This trim is self-adhesive, but it's not very strong, so I'm adding my hot glue to it. And I'm just cutting off the extra. And then I try to tack it down properly. Now I'm removing that protective film, and as you can see, this gold is very bright. It's not really the tone that I'm used to using. The reflective gold spray paint is a lighter color, but I'll just have to work with this one for now. Next, I'll attach the top to the rest of my table, and as you can see, I'm using less glue because that's all it needs. And this was the next day, so the base is already dry. Now here's my 10-inch mirror that I'll be using, and I'm just placing some rhinestones on there to see how it would look. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it like that, but my 12-inch mirrors are on the way. But let me know what you think, if you think it looks good like this, or you would add the 12-inch mirror. I hope you like this project. Now let's move on to our second project. We're just going to be making a wall decoration, and I'm using a pool noodle for this project. I'm using some white paint to paint my pool noodle. I'm making a knot, then I'll place it to dry outside. Now my pool noodle is dry, so I'm going to be thickening my paint, and I'm using cornstarch to do so. And I'm just using my chip brush to paint my pool noodle. I'm placing a piece of PVC pipe inside of my pool noodle so I can hold it to paint the entire thing at once. And I'm putting on a good layer. Now I'll place it to dry. And I found these two pieces of foam. It's a foam ball I think it's 3 inches or 2.5 inches from the Dollar Tree. I cut it in two, and I'm just using my sanding sponge to make it a little bit smoother, and I'm painting it. I just place a piece of skewer inside of each one so I can hold it to paint it. I thought of this after, but the best thing is to attach the foam ball directly onto the pool noodle and do everything at once, glue it on before you start any painting. And as you can see, this is not turning out to be, it looks different. Like, I'm just trying to cover up the hole in the pool noodle. I'm just going to try and seal it so it can look a little bit better. So I'm using my hot glue to seal it, and I'll sand it some more and add some more of my thick mixture paint just to try and conceal the way it looks right now. Now I'll move on to my frame. I'm using a canvas, and I'll be using the back of the canvas. I'm just using some paint to paint my canvas, and this won't be the finishing paint. I'm just using this paint because it's thicker than my acrylic paint and I need to prime the canvas. So I'm using the paint to prime the canvas, and then I'll use my black acrylic paint on top. And in case you're wondering, this is the Bear Dynasty paint. Okay, so that's my one coat, and I'm also painting the edges, and I'm using my white acrylic for that part. Now it's dry, so I'll apply my black paint, and this is my matte acrylic paint, and I'm just giving it one layer. Now I'll place it to dry. I'll be adding dowels to the edges of my frame. My dowels are 1/2 inch, so I'm using my utility knife to cut away that excess fabric. And these are my dowels. If you have a miter box, go ahead and use it to cut your dowels. I measure my canvas, and I'm just using my hacksaw blade to cut my dowels. And I'm using my sanding block to clean up the edges. Next, I'm using a small brush to paint my dowels, and I'm using my matte acrylic black paint. And I'm also painting the inner edge of my frame, and then I'll attach my dowels. To attach my dowels, I'm using my strong adhesive and my hot glue. I'm also going over the entire canvas with my paint. Next, I'm going to be adding my gold strip, and I'm adding it in the inner edge. And I could have gone without adding this gold strip. It did not do much for the frame at all. I was trying to add it to give my frame some depth, almost like a shadow box, but it did not do much for it. So I could have gone without using this. And I think around the edges of the frame also could be white. Now I'll just attach my knot to my canvas, and I'm using my Aleene's Rapid Dry, also my hot glue. Just try to place it in the center. And to hang it on the wall, I'm using my Velcro strips. These Velcro strips are very strong, so I'm cutting one in two. And here's the final result of this one, guys. I hope you like this one. Now let's move on to our third and final project. This is a spring decor I made last year using my Easter eggs. And these are the Easter eggs from Dollar Tree. I bought 3 different sizes. So you're going to be needing 3 packs of the large, 2 medium, and 2 small. You will also need a pack of bamboo skewers. You just want to place your bamboo skewer in the tip of the egg and make sure it's straight. Then we're using a wooden round and a piece of floral foam. And that's just to hold my skewers in place while I paint them. So to construct this wall decoration, we're going to be using a wooden round, that same wooden round, and a floral disc. And I'm just going to carve out the foam disc to match that wooden round. The wooden round is 4 inches in diameter. So I'm just using my utility knife to carve out the foam, and it's a perfect match for my mirror. I'm using a 4-inch mirror. Now I'll be attaching my skewers into my foam, and I'm starting with the larger eggs. And I'm placing the skewer directly on the base of that foam, going right around. And each skewer measures 7 inches. I'll place 1 inch inside of the foam, leaving 6 inches out. So I'm working with my ruler so everything can be nice and aligned. Now I'm done with the first row. Now for the second row, I'm cutting my skewers at 6 inches and placing 1 inch inside of the foam. And I'm also setting it at an angle, bringing it up slightly. Now for my third row, I'm cutting the skewers at 4 inches. Now for my fourth row, I'm also going up with the egg, setting it at an angle, and I'm cutting these skewers at 3 inches. Before I continue any further, I'll be adding my mirror. I'm just making sure that the space for my mirror will be there. And I'm using my construction adhesive to add my mirror. Now I'm on my last one. I'm using my acrylic paint to go over the foam and the wood disc. To hang it on the wall, you can use command strips, but there's a hole in the back. All you have to do is place a small nail in the wall and you can hook it that way. Next, I'll be spray painting my wall decor, and I mist it lightly first, and then I added 2 more coats. And here's the end result, guys. I hope you like this one. I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. Please let me know which one of these projects was your favorite and if you'll be recreating any of them. Alright, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. If you missed last week's video, here it is on the screen. Just click that rectangular box to watch. Please remember to give me a thumbs up before you leave. I really appreciate that, okay? It helps out my channel. Take care until I talk to you next time. Bye-bye.